Okay, so the virtual titrations, um, when you log on there, it's gonna ask you to register, um, and it'll let you in. Um, I'm not gonna play this video, but I gotta just start it, so they allow me to go next. But you can watch the video. It gives you some background about why they're doing this experiment. It's to do with some water pollution in a stream. Okay, so now the background knowledge there about the acids and the bases. It's to fill the blanks, isn't it? Yeah, the titration, it's a little bit like the stoichiometry. You're determining an unknown chemical quantity, and uh, it's all based around the endpoint. You're going to see a color change. Okay. Uh, Sodium hydroxide is basic. Hydrochloric acid is an acid, and water is neutral. Um, Click all the acids. I know they're acids because they've got the hydrogen here. The indicator in this example, your alkaline solution is going to turn clear after all of the base has been neutralized by the acid. So this is actually false here because it doesn't change from colorless to pink when you're adding acid. When you're adding acid, it's changing from pink to colorless. It's going the other way. Okay, great. Okay, so this is the bit we want to do. It's gonna ask us to do our titration. They're looking for 1 gram of sodium hydroxide. So we'll measure out our 1 gram. We don't want to go over. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1. Okay, so now we got a 1 gram of sodium hydroxide. We'll check that. And now they want us to dissolve that up in some water. So we get our water and we put some water in on top of our sodium hydroxide. And we'll put that into a volumetric flask. You can see here, look, it's a 250 centimeter cubed volumetric flask. So that's 1/4 of a liter. And we'll rinse our beaker as well. And then we gotta fill it up to the mark. We don't want to go above that mark. We want to get oh my God, we've gone above the mark. We want to have this meniscus here sitting on the line. So he's going to give out to me now. He's going to tell me I'm wrong. So we got to be more careful and put the water in more slowly and just get it sitting on the line. Okay, so now the meniscus is sitting on the line. We should be safe. We'll check it with the boss. What does he say? He says, okay. So now what have we done? We've measured our known quantity of sodium hydroxide and we've dissolved it in a known volume of water. They're going to make us calculate the atomic mass of this thing so that we can figure out how many moles we have and how many moles per liter we have. Sodium, they're telling us 23. It's actually 22.9897, but if they think it's 23, we'll let them away with it. Same with the oxygen. That should be 15.9994. They're telling us it's 16, whatever. Okay. And so we got 40 grams per mole. And what did we take? 100 grams. So we're going to convert our 100 grams into moles. So what are we going to do? We have 100 grams divided by 40 grams per mole. It's going to be about 2.5 moles. Oh, we didn't have 100 grams. We had 1.00 grams. Sorry. So it's 0.025 moles of sodium hydroxide. Okay. Now this is looking like a pain. Let's read this one slowly. Rearrange the equation shown to calculate the concentration. Okay, so we had 0.025 moles, and it's been divided into 0.25 liters. So it's going to be a small number. There's 1,000 in here because it's 1,000 centimeters cubed per liter. If they were doing a chem exam in Kangchow, they'd be dropping marks here for not having their units. The equation relates the amount of substance to the concentration and volume. Since the units for concentration are in moles per decimeter cubed, this is actually moles per liter. The volume is divided by 1,000 to convert from centimeters cubed to decimeters cubed. Oh, yeah. You should have told us by writing the units on the number. Okay, amount of substance is equal to concentration multiplied by the volume divided by the conversion factor. And down here, what are they looking for? Concentration is equal to the amount of substance. They're just making us do the equation backwards. Divided by the volume, because you're dividing across. And then multiplied by 1,000. I think I'm going to get it right. Yes, I'm going to be very upset if I'm not right. Yes. Okay, well, oh no, and they're giving us another nightmare. Okay, what have we got here? Calculate the concentration in moles per liter of the NaOH solution. Using the amount of NaOH in moles you have calculated and the volume of NaOH solution you have made, drag and drop the correct values into the blank spaces. This is absolutely horrible. What are they doing to us? Okay, but I think they're telling us already what the answer is, basically, aren't they? So the concentration is going to be the amount of substance, moles. We calculated that, didn't we? Okay. And we got the volume in centimeters cubed. And they integrated their 1,000 in here already. I think we're going to be okay. Oh my God. We have to try again. Concentration is the amount of substance in moles Oh, I know. They just wanted us to put I think we are right. They just wanted us to put the answer in here as well. So I was right, I hope. Yes, so I was right all along. It's just they wanted me to put the answer down here. So this multiplied by this divided by this is going to give you your 0.1 moles per liter. Okay, so now we know the concentration of our sodium hydroxide solution. And actually, nobody would do this titration in the real world. This is a And I'll tell you why, because sodium hydroxide, it absorbs water from the atmosphere, so it's very hard to determine its concentration like this accurately. But anyway, what are we doing? The pipette has already been rinsed. Now it needs to be rinsed with water. Now it needs to be rinsed with solution. Okay. So we got to fill it. Is this working? Okay, it is. You fill it till it's about half full, and then you want to rotate. Oh, for God's sake! Come on. Why is it not letting me rotate? Let's just empty it into the waste. See, does it allow us to? It's probably going to tell us now that we're wrong, but we'll try anyway. No, you got to rotate. It didn't allow us to rotate. Let's try it again. I think maybe because I filled it up too much. Okay. Oh yeah, yeah. It's because I filled it up too much. Okay. So, and then we can dump it into the waste. We're just washing it to make sure that we're very precise about the amount that we have, that it's not been contaminated. Okay. And now the next thing, we want to measure a known amount. So they're telling us it's this pipette here, right? It's going to be filling up to the mark. It's going to be 25 centimeters cubed. We just got to be careful we don't go over the mark. There it is, look. And we want to get the meniscus sitting on top of the mark. Oh, perfect. Okay. And then we're going to put that into a conical flask. We probably have washed the conical flask as well, if it was the real world. We probably would have washed the conical flask with distilled water. Okay, and now we're going to put in some indicator. So we just give a drop. How many drops do they want? I think 3, 2, 3. Okay. Great. Okay, 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 okay. So they want you to test samples from site B. Hmm. Oh yeah, you gotta. You don't want to pour these chemicals all over yourself. So that's why they're saying to look from above. I've had students who've poured the chemicals on themselves before. Okay, now we want to rinse it with a little bit of our sample. Okay, we're going to run out of time on our video soon. Hope it doesn't cut out. Now we want to fill it with our sample. And oh yeah, this is a good one. You got to close the tap at the bottom of the burette, otherwise it's just going to all flow out. This has happened before, that students, they're pouring the solutions in and they're just pouring it all over the table. You got to close the tap and then you can start pouring. Um, you need to remove the funnel. I took the funnel out and it went back again. Okay, now you got to go to eye level and you're going to really carefully fill it until your meniscus sits on the line.